The phrase "a woman who walks alone without a husband" carries with it a weight of societal assumptions, expectations, and perhaps a certain unease, but let us not leap to conclusions. Instead, let us consider what it means to walk alone in life as a woman and what it reveals about the individual, the society in which she lives, and the human condition itself. Independence is a powerful concept, often celebrated as one of the highest virtues an individual can achieve. It represents the ability to stand on one's own, to make decisions without undue reliance on others, and to carve out a life that is authentic and self-directed. For a woman walking alone without a husband, independence may signify a triumph over societal expectations or personal circumstances that once sought to limit her freedom. It is a testament to her strength, resourcefulness, and ability to navigate the complexities of life without the traditional support of a marital partnership. The path of independence is not without its challenges. For all its virtues, independence can sometimes feel like a lonely endeavor. When one chooses or is thrust into a life of solitude, the absence of a close, consistent partner can amplify the sense of isolation. This is not simply about being physically alone, but about carrying the emotional and psychological weight of life's trials without a companion to share the burden. The ability to face such solitude requires an inner fortitude that few may truly appreciate. This tension between independence and isolation is a delicate balance. Independence, by its very nature, requires self-reliance. It demands that one be capable of making decisions, solving problems, and finding meaning within oneself. For a woman navigating life on her own, this often means cultivating a profound sense of self-awareness and a strong internal compass. It also requires the courage to face the world's uncertainties without the safety net that a partner might provide. Yet this same independence can create a barrier to connection. The very skills that enable her to stand alone may inadvertently signal to others that she doesn't need or want their support, making it harder to build meaningful relationships. The societal context in which independence occurs shapes its experience. For centuries, women's roles have been framed in relation to others as daughters, wives, and mothers. A woman who steps outside these roles to assert her independence may find herself facing judgment or misunderstanding. This external pressure can compound feelings of isolation, as she must not only contend with the challenges of her path, but also with the narratives imposed upon her by others. Yet isolation is not an inevitable consequence of independence. It is a challenge to be navigated. Much like any other, it requires a deliberate effort to create and maintain connections, even in the absence of a marital relationship. It necessitates a recognition that independence does not mean going it entirely alone, but rather having the ability to choose one's associations and build a support network that aligns with one's values and goals. The interplay between independence and isolation, then, is not a binary opposition, but a spectrum. It is a dynamic that evolves with time, experience, and the deliberate choices one makes about how to live and who to include in their life. Independence, when pursued with wisdom and balance, becomes a source of empowerment rather than estrangement. It is a state of being that allows for self-expression, autonomy, and growth, even as one grapples with the complexities it can bring. The journey of a woman walking alone is a testament to this balance, challenging, nuanced, and deeply human. Cultural and societal expectations have long shaped the paths that individuals are encouraged or even required to follow. For women, these expectations have historically been particularly rigid, often revolving around their roles as caregivers, wives, and mothers. These roles, though meaningful to many, can become stifling when imposed as universal mandates rather than personal choices. A woman who walks alone without a husband stands as a challenge to these conventions, whether intentionally or not, and her path offers a lens through which to examine the intricate ways culture and society influence personal decisions. From a young age, many women are introduced to ideals and narratives about what constitutes a fulfilling life. These narratives often emphasize relational milestones such as marriage and family as markers of success and stability. The notion of a woman remaining single, whether by choice or circumstance, can evoke responses ranging from curiosity to pity to outright disapproval, depending on the cultural context. This is because in many societies, marriage has historically been seen not only as a personal commitment, but as a social contract, a way to integrate into the broader fabric of community life. A woman who steps outside this framework disrupts these expectations and invites scrutiny, as her choices challenge deeply ingrained assumptions about gender roles and societal order. Cultural traditions further complicate the matter, as they often tie a woman's worth to her marital status. In some communities, an unmarried woman may be seen as incomplete or as failing to fulfill her role in perpetuating family or cultural legacies. These perceptions are not just abstract ideas but lived realities that can affect how a woman is treated within her family, workplace, or community. She may face subtle or overt pressure to conform, to explain herself, or to justify her choices in ways that men in similar circumstances rarely encounter. Such pressures can be both exhausting and alienating, as they suggest that her value is contingent on meeting expectations that may not align with her vision for her life. At the same time, societal expectations are not monolithic. They evolve over time and differ across contexts. In modern urban settings, there is often more acceptance of diverse life paths, and a woman walking alone without a husband may be celebrated for her independence and ambition. Yet even in these settings, subtle biases can persist. She might be asked why she has chosen this path, with the implicit assumption that it is an aberration from the norm rather than a valid trajectory in its own right. These questions, though often well-meaning, can reinforce the idea that her life is incomplete or unconventional in ways that warrant explanation. For a woman to navigate these expectations requires both self-awareness and resilience. She must find ways to reconcile her personal desires with the external pressures that seek to shape her choices. This balancing act is made all the more challenging by the fact that cultural and societal norms often carry the weight of tradition and the collective values of a community. Yet, as these norms evolve, so too does the space for women to assert their autonomy and redefine what it means to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. The search for meaning is a fundamental aspect of human existence, a quest that shapes our choices, actions, and relationships. For a woman walking alone without a husband, the pursuit of meaning becomes especially significant, as it challenges her to construct a life that is both fulfilling and aligned with her values, independent of societal expectations. Responsibility, in this context, serves as both a guiding principle and a vital component of a meaningful life. Together, meaning and responsibility form the bedrock upon which a solitary yet purposeful life can be built. Meaning is not something that is handed to us, it is something we must actively seek and create. For a woman navigating life alone, this process often requires questioning inherited narratives about fulfillment and success. In cultures where marriage and family are seen as central to a meaningful life, stepping outside these frameworks can feel like stepping into uncharted territory. Yet, this departure can also be liberating, as it opens the door to explore alternative sources of meaning: career, creativity, service to others, personal growth, or spiritual pursuits. The key lies in identifying what resonates deeply with her and committing to it wholeheartedly. Responsibility is the practical counterpart to the search for meaning. It anchors abstract ideals in the realities of everyday life, providing structure and purpose. A woman walking alone must take full responsibility for her choices and their consequences, both positive and negative. Without the shared decision-making and support that often accompany a marital partnership, she becomes the sole architect of her life. This can be both daunting and empowering. It requires a willingness to face challenges head-on, to accept failures as part of the learning process, and to continually adapt to changing circumstances. Responsibility also extends beyond the self. A meaningful life is often one that contributes to the well-being of others, whether through direct actions or through the ripple effects of living with integrity and purpose. For a woman walking alone, this might mean caring for aging parents, mentoring younger individuals, engaging in community initiatives, or pursuing work that has a positive impact on society. Such responsibilities are not burdens but opportunities to create connections and leave a legacy, however modest, that transcends the self. The interplay between meaning and responsibility becomes especially poignant in moments of hardship. When life becomes difficult, whether due to illness, financial struggles, or personal loss, the commitment to a meaningful and responsible life provides a compass to navigate uncertainty. It reminds a woman of her inner strength and her capacity to endure and grow through adversity. These moments, though painful, often reveal the depth of character and resolve that comes from living intentionally. Meaning and responsibility are not static achievements, but dynamic processes. They require continuous reflection, adjustment, and effort. For a woman who walks alone, they offer a framework to transform solitude into strength and independence, into a source of profound fulfillment. In embracing both, she demonstrates that a meaningful life is not confined by external circumstances, but is shaped by the choices we make and the principles we uphold. The evolution of gender roles is one of the most profound transformations in human history, reshaping the way individuals define their identities, relationships, and contributions to society. For centuries, gender roles were rigidly defined, with men and women assigned distinct responsibilities rooted in biological differences and societal needs. Men were typically cast as providers and protectors, while women were seen as nurturers and caretakers, their lives largely revolving around the domestic sphere. These roles, though functional in certain historical contexts, often constrained individual potential and reinforced a hierarchical structure that left little room for deviation. The shifting of these roles began subtly, often driven by economic, technological, and cultural changes. The Industrial Revolution, for instance, pulled many women into the workforce, challenging the notion that their contributions were limited to the home. This change not only expanded the scope of women's participation in society, but also began to question the fundamental assumptions underlying traditional gender roles. As educational opportunities for women increased, so too did their ability to pursue careers, leadership positions, and intellectual achievements. Each step forward sparked debates about what men and women should do versus what they could do, gradually dismantling long-standing stereotypes. The transformation of gender roles is not just a story of progress, but also of resistance and tension. Cultural and institutional barriers have often sought to maintain the status quo, and even today, echoes of traditional roles persist. Women who step outside these roles, whether by choosing not to marry, focusing on their careers, or living independently, may still face scrutiny or skepticism. Yet, these challenges also highlight the resilience and determination of those who defy societal expectations, pushing boundaries not just for themselves, but for future generations. The evolution of gender roles has also redefined relationships and the dynamics between men and women. As women increasingly take on roles traditionally held by men, the notion of partnership has shifted from one of dependence to one of collaboration. Marriage, once seen primarily as an economic and social necessity, is now more often viewed as a union of equals. This redefinition has allowed individuals to seek relationships based on mutual respect and shared values rather than societal obligations. At the same time, it has created new challenges, as both men and women navigate a landscape where roles are less defined and expectations are more fluid. This evolution is not confined to women alone. It has also expanded the possibilities for men. The dismantling of rigid gender roles has allowed men to embrace aspects of their identities that were previously discouraged, such as emotional expression, active fatherhood, and engagement in caregiving roles. By breaking free from traditional constraints, men and women alike can explore the full spectrum of human potential, enriching not only their own lives, but also the societies in which they live. Despite the progress made, the evolution of gender roles remains an ongoing process. It requires continuous reflection and effort to challenge ingrained biases and create environments where individuals are free to define their paths. This journey, though complex, underscores the power of adaptability and the enduring human drive toward equality and authenticity. Life is inherently filled with challenges, and for a woman walking alone without a husband, these challenges can often feel amplified. The path of independence requires navigating a world where societal expectations, financial realities, and emotional complexities intersect. Yet it is precisely in facing these challenges that resilience is born, a quality that not only sustains but also strengthens the individual through adversity. One of the foremost challenges is the weight of societal judgment. In many cultures, a woman's value has traditionally been linked to her marital status, and choosing or finding herself in a life without a husband can attract scrutiny or unwarranted pity. Questions about why she is alone or assumptions about her personal life can create a sense of alienation. These judgments are not merely abstract, they influence how she is treated in professional and social contexts, often requiring her to assert her worth and competence in ways that a married counterpart might not need to. Economic challenges also loom large. In a world where resources and opportunities are often distributed unevenly, a single woman must shoulder the full responsibility of her financial stability. She must plan for her future without the shared income or security that a marital partnership might provide. This requires foresight, discipline, and an unwavering commitment to self-reliance. The pressure of managing everything from daily expenses to long-term investments can be daunting, but it also fosters a sense of empowerment when she succeeds in building a life on her terms. Emotional challenges are perhaps the most deeply felt. While independence offers freedom, it can also bring loneliness. The absence of a partner to share life's joys and sorrows can lead to moments of self-doubt or longing for connection. Overcoming these feelings requires cultivating a strong inner world, a sense of self that is not dependent on external validation. Developing this emotional resilience is a profound task, one that involves embracing solitude as an opportunity for growth rather than a void to be filled. Resilience, however, is not simply the ability to endure, it is the ability to adapt and thrive in the face of adversity. For a woman walking alone, resilience emerges from the very act of confronting and overcoming the unique difficulties of her path. It is built through the small daily victories, managing a crisis, making a difficult decision, or finding joy in unexpected places. Each challenge met with strength adds to the foundation of her confidence and independence. Resilience also grows through connection with others. While her path may be solitary in some respects, no one is entirely alone. Building and nurturing relationships, whether with friends, family, or community, provides a network of support that helps sustain her through difficult times. These connections do not diminish her independence, but rather enrich it, offering a reminder that resilience is not about isolation, but about the ability to face challenges with the knowledge that she is not alone in her humanity. In meeting life's difficulties with courage and determination, a woman walking alone demonstrates that resilience is not just a response to hardship, but a testament to the strength of the human spirit. It is this resilience that transforms challenges into opportunities for growth and independence, into a source of profound strength. While independence is a powerful and essential quality, the importance of community cannot be overlooked, especially for a woman walking alone without a husband. Community provides a sense of belonging, support, and connection that is vital for emotional well-being and personal growth. While solitude offers space for reflection and self-discovery, the presence of a supportive community enriches one's life in ways that isolation cannot. Community, in its many forms, serves as a safety net in times of need. When challenges arise, whether financial, emotional, or physical, the bonds created through community offer a sense of security and reassurance. For a woman navigating life without a partner, this safety net becomes even more crucial. The absence of a husband means there is no automatic partner to rely on in moments of crisis, but the community steps in to fill that gap. It might be friends who offer emotional support during difficult times, colleagues who provide practical assistance, or extended family who lend a hand when necessary. The sense that one is not facing the world alone can ease the burdens of independence and provide the strength to endure hardships. Community fosters a sense of shared purpose. Humans are social creatures, and we thrive when we feel connected to others who share similar values, goals, and interests. For a woman walking alone, finding a community that aligns with her beliefs and aspirations creates opportunities for personal fulfillment and growth. Whether it is through professional networks, volunteer groups, or social circles, community helps to reinforce her sense of purpose. It reminds her that her work, passions, and efforts are not isolated, but are part of a larger tapestry of shared human experience. This sense of belonging not only nurtures her individual goals, but also reinforces the idea that her life has meaning beyond her solitary existence. Community also plays a vital role in combating loneliness. The isolation that can come with living alone without a partner can sometimes lead to feelings of disconnection or emptiness. However, regular engagement with a supportive community can mitigate these feelings. Social interaction provides opportunities for laughter, companionship, and mutual care experiences that are essential for emotional health. It reminds a woman that while she may be walking her path alone, she is not alone in the world. Connection with others provides an antidote to loneliness, allowing her to feel seen, valued, and understood. The importance of community extends beyond the individual. It fosters a sense of collective responsibility. When one is part of a community, there is an implicit recognition that one's actions impact others. This interconnectedness encourages empathy, mutual respect, and cooperation. A woman who participates actively in her community, whether by offering support, sharing knowledge, or working toward common goals, contributes to the well-being of those around her. In doing so, she strengthens the fabric of the community itself, which in turn supports her. This reciprocal relationship of giving and receiving nurtures resilience and promotes a more inclusive and caring environment. In a world that often emphasizes individual success, it is easy to forget that true fulfillment is found in the relationships we cultivate and the communities we contribute to. A woman walking alone without a husband may be self-reliant, but her life is enriched by the connections she forms with others. These connections create a foundation of love, support, and shared purpose that elevates her individual journey and reminds her that no one, no matter how independent, truly walks alone. In conclusion, the journey of a woman walking alone without a husband is a profound testament to the complexities of independence, the weight of societal expectations, the pursuit of meaning and responsibility, and the challenges and resilience required to navigate such a path. While independence offers the freedom to carve one's own way in the world, it is not without its inherent struggles, from societal judgment to emotional and economic pressures. Yet, in the face of these challenges, resilience emerges as a powerful force that sustains and strengthens the individual. Through the evolution of gender roles, women have gained greater freedom to choose their own paths, but with this freedom comes the responsibility of navigating a world that may still impose limiting expectations. At the same time, the importance of community cannot be overstated. Even as a woman may choose or find herself living alone, the connections she builds with others remain vital for emotional well-being and personal growth. Community provides the support, shared purpose, and emotional nourishment needed to thrive, reminding her that while her journey may be solitary, it is not an isolated existence. It is through these connections that she finds strength, meaning, and the resilience to continue her journey. Ultimately, the woman who walks alone demonstrates that true empowerment comes not from walking alone in isolation, but from the ability to choose one's path, to face life's challenges with courage, and to embrace the connections that give life its deepest meaning.